What's up guys, Avi this side, welcome back to the channel and also welcome my new white wall. I hope it's pretty evident that it's new and white. So in this video, I'll be talking and telling about how to get your first push-up. So people who think about doing a push-up, or if you've just started a push-up journey, and the majority of the people who are on their knee down push-up stage, this video is going to be for you. I'll be telling and discussing some progressions to reach to a final strict high plank push-up. Progressions meaning building blocks, the exercises which act as a building block to the final movement, which is going to be a strict push-up. Now, apart from the progressions, I'm also going to share a tip with you which most of us miss out on, and I'm going to discuss that tip at the end. Now, before I proceed, just a gentle reminder to like and subscribe the channel. Of course, if you like the channel, of course. So guys, first progression will be starting with wall push-up, especially for beginners who have never worked out before, just starting. This is to give you a feel what a pushing motion feels like to your body and to your arms. So guys, next up progression is gonna be the high plank progression, inside which we'll be going with numerous sub progressions. So first thing we'll be doing is a high plank where your palms are right under the shoulders, your shoulder, hip and knee, meaning your entire body is in one straight line. So this is a very important progression guys, because this is going to be the starting position of your push-up. Before you start going down, this is what your position will be looking like. So try to embrace your core here, feel how the body weight is coming on your hands. Now next scale up within the same progression is gonna be shoulder taps. So as you can see, palm to my opposite shoulder every time. So let's say if you're a beginner doing shoulder taps for the first time, this is what your shoulder taps are gonna look like. Your hips are moving right and left. There's a lot of movement in the lower body, meaning lesser engagement in your core and lesser strength in the arm. So gradually with time, this is how your shoulder taps are gonna look like as you gain strength and more core balancing. Now as you can see, my lower body is not moving at all. I have a lot better control. Next scale up guys, within the same progression is even slower shoulder taps. Now I'm increasing my time, increasing my holding time on one hand. I'm shifting my weight on just one arm, trying to feel majority of the weight just on one hand, increasing my arm strength here. Okay, moving on to the third progression, the most important progression for your arm strength, low plank to high plank. So guys, as you can see my position, my body is straight again. I'm on elbow plank position. I come up on my one hand, then on the other hand. Let's say if you're a beginner with lesser or weaker arm strength, as you can see, this is what your low plank to high plank progression is going to look like. There's again a lot of movement in the lower body. There's a lot of hip turning to right and left every time you're coming up and going down, as we discussed the same thing with the shoulder tap. Now guys, with the time, as a sign of progress, you would be able to see that there's gonna be lesser movement in the lower body now. As you can see now, let's say after 2 to 3 weeks of the same progression, there'll be almost no movement in the lower body. I'll be having majority of the weight only on the arms, meaning I'll be having an increased strength in my arms and even better engagement of my core. Okay, next up is gonna be knee down push-up. Majority of the people are stuck at this phase of push-up, the knee down push-up. So the reason of that might be a wrong posture or you not trying other progressions along with this one. So guys, in order to know what the best posture for knee down push-up is, make sure you have checked out my previous video on Are You Doing the Push-Ups Right, where I have explained in detail about how to correct your knee down push-up. So guys, within the same progression, as you can see in the initial repetitions, I'm falling all the way down on the floor, making it a knee down, hand release push-up. So this is going to be acting as a scale down. As you gain strength and confidence, you're going to be coming up from right above the floor, meaning not touching your chest on the floor, almost close to a normal push-up. Okay guys, so the second last progression we're going to discuss are the negative push-ups. Negative push-up meaning negative phase is the phase where you're going down to the floor, also called the eccentric phase. So guys, as you can see in the setup, my hands are a little outside my shoulders and I'll try to fall in front of my palms. Now when I do that, there's a little bend in the hip, a very vague mountain position I'm forming here, so that I try and tend to touch my chest before I touch my thighs or pelvis or any part of the lower body on the floor. So the target here of a negative push-up is to touch your chest before the floor. It's gonna open up your chest fibers, give you the closest feel of what an actual push-up is. When you come up, you can put your knees on the floor, come up like you do from a knee down push-up to all the way up to high plank, and repeat the same thing. Fall in front of your hands, hold your breath while you're coming, try to touch your chest before the thighs. Okay guys, keeping the best one and the most important one for the last, the name is incline push-up. So this particular progression is gonna cover all the aspects, starting from the wall push-up to the end, which is our goal, the high plank strict push-up. Now let's say if you're doing a wall push-up on a wall whose height is shorter than you, you're forming an incline angle, then that wall push-up is nothing but an incline push-up progression only. So guys, why this particular progression is the most important one is because this is gonna tell you exactly where you are in your push-up journey, exactly which level you are in your push-up journey. Now the height of the wall on which I'm doing incline push-ups right now, if I decrease the height of that wall, I'll be shifting my weight on the upper body only and less on the lower body. Now guys, as you can see, every time I'm decreasing the height of the wall, every time I'm decreasing my incline angle from the floor, I am moving towards the final goal. I am shifting my entire posture towards the final goal, which is a strict high plank push-up. And that's how this progression becomes one of the most progression. You can scale up or scale down this progression from level 0 to level final, meaning from the wall push-up to your final strict high plank push-up. So guys, those were the 6 progressions of the building block exercises you need to do. Now amongst those, make sure the incline push-up is one of the most important progression. Increase it or scale it up gradually. Fine. So incline push-up may keep you, the more you keep decreasing the incline angle, the more closer you'll be getting or reaching to a normal push-up. Now guys, as I said before the video, at the starting of the video, I'll be sharing a tip with you guys. So guys, reaching to the final push-up stage is not just about the progressions we discussed. So when you do a push-up, you're engaging your chest, your tricep and your shoulders muscle. So the individual conditioning of these muscle groups is as important as the progressions which we just discussed. Now, conditioning of the muscle groups meaning to make the muscles grow, or in terms of strength, endurance or whatever, so that they're able to perform their function for whatever function they're present for. So now let's say, for an example, your triceps are underdeveloped, or if your triceps are weak as compared to the other muscle groups of your body. No matter how much you keep on practicing the progressions, you won't be able to reach to a perfect push-up until and unless you're going to train your tricep muscle individually and specifically. This happens especially in the case of female athletes. So female athletes have relatively weaker upper bodies as compared to men. That's how our genetics are made. Now this is where working on specific muscle groups comes into play, and it becomes as important as the progressions we discussed on the push-ups. So we talked about the same thing in our previous video on how to maintain a good balance between the body weight exercises and the exercises which you do in the gym, where you have separate days for your different muscle groups. We discussed this in the previous video where we talked about right and wrong posture of push-ups, guys. So make sure you have checked that video out. Also, do not miss out on that video. So guys, for any more doubts and queries regarding body weight movements or any other thing, feel free to DM me on Instagram. And if you like the video, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until then, see you soon.